welcome to our final royal recap. Today we are doing Cinderella. I'm Cinderella. Look at my dress. Anyways, so this is our last story time for summer reading because summer reading is ending soon. But that's okay. We've had fun. So, where is my book? Oh, there it is. Today we'll be reading. Seriously, Cinderella is so annoying. Here we go. You must have heard of me. The Wicked Stepmother? That's not true. That's one of Cindy's wild stories, like the one about the pumpkin and the fairy godmother. The real story, the true story, began with some chatter and some dust. Before I married Cindy's father, all I wanted was a husband and a mansion. I'd only met Cindy a few times, and the girl had seemed normal then. After I married her father, though, my darlings and I moved in, and before we could even get in the door, my husband kissed me goodbye and said, "I'm off on business." He leaves often, says Cindy, but the animals stay put. They talk, they joke, they sing, they even help with housework, especially the bluebirds. Oh dear. Now, I don't mind a story, but I like facts, not fiction. Soon the girl was talking all kinds of hokey-pokey. Once upon a time, Cindy said, one of the bluebirds became blue, not the color, the feeling. His friend had flown down south. My darlings and I were stuck near the front door. I just wanted to put my bags away, and that's when I saw it. The dust. Dun, dun, dun. Dear, is this whole house this dusty? I don't know. I'll give you a tour. I'd say so. My goodness. In the dining room, Cindy told stories. In the study, Cindy told stories non-stop. Girls, I said, it's time to get down to business and clean this house. Once upon a time when I was cleaning, Cindy started, oh dear. Cindy mopped the floor, but she finished so fast. My darlings and I had barely started. Did you know that robins and sparrows are my friends, she said. But the sparrows don't like the robins, silly creatures. Once upon a time when one of the robins, Cindy, dear, why don't you go and wash the clothes now? But Cindy washed them so fast. How on earth did she do it? I had to find another chore to keep her busy. If there's one thing the squirrels love washing, it's clothes. The rats, though, would rather iron. You know, one day, squirrels and rats doing laundry? Quit telling foolish stories, Cindy. My goodness. Time passed, but nothing changed. In the garden, Cindy told stories. In the kitchen, Cindy told stories. At dinner, I couldn't hear myself think. Dear, please, stop talking. But Cindy didn't stop. One day, a letter arrived. It was an invitation to the king's ball. The prince would surely fall in love with one of my darlings, and then they would marry and live in a beautiful castle and one day become king and queen of all the land. Oh, stepmother, I have to go too, Cindy said. Once upon a time, a girl and a prince. And then, just like that, Cindy lost her voice. Imagine, it had to be from all of that storytelling. Well, what could I do? I told Cindy that she had to stay home for her health. She cried, of course, but a ball was no place for a sick girl. She needed rest. Sometimes it's so hard being a stepmother. At the ball, my darlings twirled, and they whirled. But then some stranger girl walked in. Her gown was magnificent. I couldn't take my eyes off it. I wondered how much it would cost and if my seamstress would copy it for me. The prince and the girl danced and pranced, and my poor darlings were left princeless. Well, of course, the prince would want me. A few days later, the prince made an announcement. A glass slipper had been left at the castle. The prince would marry the girl whose foot would fit. Our big chance! After visiting every other mansion in the neighborhood, the prince's valet arrived at our door. Me, said one of my darlings. No, me, said the other. One at a time, said the valet. Each girl tried, but the shoe didn't fit. Then Cindy pushed out a whisper. Please, let me try. The shoe fit. Cindy pulled out the matching one out of her pocket. What? Cindy pushed out another whisper. She said something about pumpkin coach and mice that turned to horses. She even added a fairy godmother. Please, there's no such thing. But I still don't know where she got those shoes. A few days later, the prince married Cindy. Poor fellow didn't know what he was getting into. But we lived happily ever after. The end. Wasn't that a great story? I don't really like how they portrayed me. I don't talk that much. I mean, I do like to talk, and I do tell a lot of stories, and you know, it is a lot of work telling stories, and well, okay, maybe it is really about me. But anyways, so after we read the story, we talked a little bit about the original story, and then we made fairy wands. Isn't it pretty? We have a touch of magic to it. You can see the magic. Of course, then, you know, we add the magic to it, and one of the kids turned me into a melting blob. But all fun and magic. At least she reversed it. And then we did our drawing, and one of our lucky participants won a copy of this book. So, thanks for joining me for another royal recap, and for joining me for all the royal recaps. And always remember to stay royal. But remember, this is not the end of the story. We're still going to be doing story times as virtual story time every Thursday at 10:30 on Zoom. And make sure you keep an eye out on Facebook. We might be there too. And remember, stay royal.